If there is one thing I think we can all agree on from this last episode, is that Gabby ate at that round table. Ate. Danielle just knew she was going to be able to go in, and I think she used the word annihilate her. Gabby ate. She's the MVP of the episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We're here to talk The Traitor, Season 3, Episode 10, The Power of the Seer. If you guys are brand new to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up the video. If you like the content, you hate the content, but you're still here watching the content, hit the subscribe button. Thumbs up the video. Let's try to get to like 1,000 likes. I know we can do it. We've done it before. And then leave your comments down below. I want to give a special shout out to all the Danielle fan stands, apologists, and I guess windmillers that were in the comments from last week's episode. Here's the thing, I'm giving commentary, okay? I'm giving my opinion on what I'm seeing on TV. I think Danielle is playing a sloppy game. I don't like Danielle's game. I understand the game is to be deceptive. I'm not dumb. However, I can still not like how she's playing the game, and I don't. If that offends you, I truly don't give a fuck. Some of y'all are taking this way too serious, okay? I don't like the way Danielle is playing the game. It's very simple. If you don't like that, don't watch the video, okay? It's not rocket science, all right? So, the episode starts off with Brittany going down to the dungeon. Remember, she received a letter from the traitor, Danielle. And when she gets down there, she laughs when she sees it's Danielle. Now, it's interesting because she wasn't shocked. It wasn't like oh shit. It wasn't one of those. She just kind of laughs. So I thought it was an interesting reaction, to be honest, because Brittany like kind of swore up and down that she thought that Danielle was a faithful. So I would have thought that she would have a bigger reaction, but she didn't. So Danielle was like, look, you can join me or I have to murder you tonight. So Danielle is like, look, I think that I can trust her completely. I have no problem with Brittany. I can ride with Brittany to the very end. I think it's interesting because based on what y'all have said and based on what Danielle has said and based on what Brittany has said, Brittany crossed Danielle in order to win Big Brother. But that's on you. So Brittany, of course, accepts the ultimatum, and they get upstairs to the turret. So Danielle lets Brittany know that, oh my God, Carolyn was getting on my nerves because like she couldn't make any decisions. She couldn't make any decisions. And I'm like, I just don't think that to be true. I think that what would happen is Carolyn would have an idea. Carolyn would have a bit of strategy on who she thought should get banished or eliminated, and Bob the drag queen, Boston Rob, and Danielle were kind of stonewall over her. But I feel like if we're going to keep it real and call a spade, Danielle, you couldn't make any decisions either because you weren't vocal about who you wanted to send home and who you didn't. But sure. So Danielle said this is the first time that she has had somebody in the turret that has been on her side, truly on her side. So they begin to talk and strategize on who is thinking who should get who, whatever the case. So they decide we have to protect Dylan and Dolores because they are true blue Danielle faithfuls, right? They're not going to write down Danielle's name, so they think they're all in on Danielle being a faithful. So we have to protect them. So Brittany is like, look, well, Tom and Gabby are on to you, Danielle. Danielle is like, oh, really? Oh my God. I don't like how Danielle and Carolyn were both acting shocked that people were onto them. Y'all are moving crazy in the house. So Danielle, once they decide on who they're gonna murder, Danielle is in her confessional saying traitors are supposed to go after, or traitors are not supposed to go after each other. Traitors are supposed to work together. Danielle, if I rewind, you went after Carolyn first before Carolyn had even done anything to you. Once Boston Rob got into that turret and they got rid, you all, or Boston Rob actually, got rid of Bob the drag queen at that round table, you made up your mind that you wanted to get rid of Carolyn. That is Traitor going after Traitor. You then, for whatever reason, became upset that Carolyn did not trust you after that. Like, am I the only one that's seen this? Like, words mean things. Actions have consequences. But I guess. So we get down to breakfast, and Danielle and Brittany come in first together, and Danielle tells her that Dylan is her person. Dylan's never going to vote against me. He's never going to go against me. Dylan is my person, so we don't have to worry about him. We got him in the bag complete. So after that, Gabby and Dolores come in next, and Dolores said that she thinks that Tom is a traitor. And I'm like, Dolores, you are really now. I don't watch the Housewives of New Jersey, but Dolores has been working my nerves this entire time because I just feel like she's wasting votes, right? So Gabby points out how all the traitors are just fighting each other. It's traitor after traitor after traitor, which is true. The traitors as a unit have been a mess this entire season. So Danielle starts laughing like a weirdo. And I fully understand it could be editing, but whatever. Ivar comes in and we find out that Tom is the one who was murdered. So we find out tonight that tonight is the last roundtable where players will reveal their identity. So after tonight, there are no more banishments. So the next thing we see, excuse me, the next thing we see is after breakfast, everybody starts going around talking, trying to figure out what's good, how everybody thinks about who was basically eliminated last night. So Gabby is talking to Danielle, and Gabby is like throwing out some hints that, like, Danielle, I know you're a traitor. She's saying it without saying it. Danielle talks to Dolores, and it's like, look, I'm not gonna put your name is or Dylan's name down. It's gonna be somebody else. But you know what? I think it could be somebody that people least expect. And Dolores falls for it right away. Somebody said Dolores used to be a cop. Are y'all sure? Are y'all sure? Because oh my God. We see Dylan and Ivor talking, and they established that look, we're both faithfuls. We know that we both are faithfuls. So Dylan said, look, I got a vibe on Danielle. I've had a vibe on Danielle for a while. Dylan said, but he doesn't trust Gabby, and he can't get a good read on her. Dylan has been after Gabby all season with literally no proof. This is insane to me because when Bob the Drag Queen and Boston Rob were going back and forth, right? It was painfully obvious that Boston Rob was the traitor. The same thing happened with Carolyn and Danielle. The way Carolyn was speaking with conviction that she knows for a fact that Danielle is a traitor and all this other type of stuff, the way that people, because it's Carolyn, are just ignoring that is insane to me. It's crazy to me. So we then see Gabby and Brittany, and Gabby thinks that Dolores and Danielle are traitors. And I'm like, okay. So Gabby then said that last night, or talks about that night, not last night, but that night that she saw Danielle and Carolyn both coming out of that like secret room. Now, Gabby is saying all this stuff, but just to the wrong person because we now know that Brittany is a traitor. So we see Dylan talking to Brittany, and Brittany is like, look, I think Gabby is a traitor because she didn't talk to anybody until the Bambies were voted off. That's the stupidest reason to think somebody is a traitor that I've ever heard on the show. So because she never had a conversation with you more than, "Hey, girl, hey," that makes her a traitor? Okay, Danielle. I mean, okay, Brittany, fine. So we get to the challenge. So it's deja vu. So they're going to go into the woods, and there's going to be three different challenges, which is going to have $30,000 up for grabs. So the players, it's kind of, every player is out for self. So the players are going to be collecting money as they go. The player that wins the most money, that amounts the most money, is going to get the power of the seer, which means that they will have the power to summon one other player down to the dungeon, and that other player has to reveal if they are faithful or a traitor. That is a crazy, crazy bonus to have, right? So obviously, Danielle wants to be the seer because she doesn't want anybody to know that she is a traitor. Dylan is like, I want to identify another faithful so we can ride this to the end. And I'm like, no, you want to identify the traitor to get him up out of here. But okay. So the first challenge is back with the clowns, okay? The creepy clowns. So they all come out, they open up their jackets, and some of them have a monetary amount listed. Others have a like a skull. The skull means that you don't get any money. Boom. So they're all holding balloons and they open up their jackets and then they do like this dance where they're all mixing each other up. And the players are going to take a spear and they're going to go pop the balloon of who they think is has the money inside their shirt, right? The player that gets the most money is going to be the most successful. So, if you pop the balloon and you are able to get some money, you can go to the next round. If you pop the balloon and black comes out, then that means that you don't get any money and you're out of this particular challenge. So everybody's able to bank some money outside of Dylan. He doesn't get any. The second challenge is they're going to go and they have these dolls where the dolls are sitting in a rocking chair and they each have like a little pulley on the back of them. As you pull the doll string, you can find out how much money they have. So the dolls have these like creepy voices and they're spitting out 1200, 1600, 1800. But if you go too far cuz each doll is only worth so much money, the doll is going to tell you you were too greedy and you lose that money. So Dylan again does not get any money. I think Ivar busted and I think Gabby busted. Dolores, to my recollection, I think was able to bank $1,600 or $1,800, and Danielle was able to get $2,000. So this is where they stopped putting the players' money on the screen. But at this point, I believe Danielle had the most money, if I'm not mistaken. It was either Danielle or Dolores, and they were super, super close. So we get to the third challenge, and there are gold coins that are hidden in bags all throughout the forest. So their thing is to go through, pull these bags open, get the gold coins. Everybody has like a little cage that they're going to take, bring in, put all their money into the cage, and then you have to hoist it up in the allotted time. If you don't, hoist yours up, whatever you made really doesn't matter. Now, we don't see how much money each player got because they don't want us to know who the seer is. But Dylan does notice that the people that are, if you're a traitor, you don't want people to know. So you're going to be really, really going after this, really honing in, trying to get that money. So he's taking note of how hard Danielle is playing and he's taking note. And I'm like, Dylan, you're always taking note about something, but then you kind of fold at the round table and vote a different way. But he said he's taking note. So at the end of all three rounds, Alan tells them he knows who the seer is, but he wants to wait. He wants to wait until after the round table. So what that means is if somebody they don't want the seer to get banished, right? So we're gonna let y'all go through and banish somebody, and then we'll let the seer know who they are probably when they, everybody goes to sleep. So when they get back to the house while they're having dinner, we see all these different conversations because now it's time to strategize before we get to the final roundtable. Gabby and Dylan are talking, and she's telling him how Danielle and Carolyn was traitor on traitor, and that she caught Carolyn and Danielle in that secret room. So Dylan's eyes are now peaked, and he's like, "Oh, okay." Okay. We then see Danielle talk to Dylan, and he tells her that it's not her or Gabby, it's between her or Gabby tonight. And Danielle is sad, and she's like, "What? You will vote for me? What do you mean? I thought you had my back." And Dylan is like, I have to hear everyone out and I could put your name down. So now Danielle is flailing. Now, prior to this, Danielle was in her confessional talking about she's gonna annihilate Gabby and she's gonna read Gabby her rights and Gabby won't know what's coming at her. All this, big talk. Okay, big talk. So Brittany and Danielle are talking, and Danielle tells Brittany Dylan might be coming after me. And Danielle is, counting on Dylan's vote because they need the numbers. It's only six people left. So they need two people to be on their side for sure. And they thought it was going to be Brittany, Danielle, Dolores, and Dylan. And then they will be able to get Gabby out. And that's not the case now. So Brittany goes and talks to Ivar. And she's like, look, who are you going for? And Ivar was like, Danielle. Hell, dead set. on Danielle. So they talk about the numbers and how they need the numbers to win, whatever the case. And Ivar was like, well, it's important for you to decide what you're going to do then. Basically, on some, I'm not switching my vote. This is on you. So Brittany is crashing out. She's walking through the house. She doesn't know what to do. And she's like, I can't vote for Danielle. I can't write her name down. And Ivar was like, it's a game. It's a game. And I kind of feel like I get it. Danielle brought you into the turret, but at the end of the day, Brittany, if you have the opportunity to win for yourself, okay? So we get to the round table and it was a good one. Okay, so Brittany starts off by saying, Gabby, we've only talked because the Bambis are gone. So, is that because you weren't worried because you had the numbers? And Danielle was like, yeah, you had the numbers. Gabby was like, you do too, Danielle. And she starts pointing around the room because we know that Danielle believes she has everyone in her favor. So Gabby was like, well, Danielle, last night, you and Carolyn gave Traitor on Traitor vibes. She was like, and maybe you knew all these facts about Carolyn because you were right there with her. So that's how I feel about it. Danielle was like, no, I kept quiet until Carolyn attacked me. When Carolyn attacked me, I simply presented facts. And Dylan was like, I believe there was some truth from both of y'all. Both of y'all were putting some truth out there. The only thing is that Carolyn was more convincing. So then Danielle was like, look, it's not in me to be a traitor. Okay, the traitor could be a girl next door. And Gabby was like, yeah. So Danielle was like, look, the murders don't make sense for me. They don't make sense for me. Gabby said, no, because Tom was murdered last night and Tom was putting your name out all yesterday. Danielle was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So then Danielle starts getting very pandering and very patronizing. And she's saying, well, I voted for Boston Rob not once but twice. Gabby was like, I did too. So what? So what's what? And Danielle had to think about it. So then Danielle was like, well, I mean, it's just I don't have this in me. And Gabby was like, same. Same. See, Danielle was like, but I mean, Gabby, I don't think you're stupid. Gabby said, I didn't say I was. See, Danielle was doing everything she could to try to knock Gabby off her square, but I feel like Danielle overplayed it. You know what I mean? Danielle didn't really prepare herself to go at Gabby. She thought she would be able to just stonewall over Gabby, and that didn't happen. It didn't happen at all because a lot of the stuff that Danielle was trying to say about Gabby, she's guilty of herself. She's guilty of herself. So Dolores, out the fucking blue, is like, well, I've never seen a traitor in Danielle, but Ivar, you, and I'm like, Danielle, Dolores, the way that you waste votes is insane to me. That's why they keeping you around because you're stupid. So we go around and we start the vote. Ivar votes for Danielle. Dolores votes for Ivar. I said, oh girl. Danielle votes for Ivar. Gabby votes for Danielle. Brittany votes for Ivar, and then Dylan votes for Danielle, and Danielle is shook, y'all. Danielle is shook that he did that. So it's tied 3-3. So Alan comes out and was like, we got to do a revote. Ivar and Danielle, y'all can't vote. So now it's just the four. Before we get started, plead your case. So Ivar is like, look, I'm a faithful, okay? I don't even really lie like that. I mean, and if y'all vote for me, I'm gonna go up there and y'all are gonna be back in this predicament, and this is what's gonna be what. It's nothing's gonna happen, okay? Y'all are gonna be back to where y'all are, and that's just gonna be it. Danielle only speaks to Dylan, which I thought was interesting. She doesn't address Gabby, but she's like, Dylan, look, you know me, you can trust me. I am a faithful and I'm pleading for my life. I am pleading for my life. I need you to trust me. Okay, that's it. That's all. I'm pleading for my life. And I'm like, it's interesting that she doesn't give any proof or use that to try to make it seem as if Ivar is a traitor. Danielle just like your whole speech was, I'm fighting for my life, I'm pleading. So they go around and they redo the vote again. And Dylan voted for Danielle once again. And he was like, look, the signs are there. And if it's not you, I'm gonna regret this for the rest of my life. But the signs are there. And I know that there are people at this table that will never vote for you. Never vote for you. They would never write your name down. And if you make it through this round table, you are going to win, right? So Dolores once again votes for Ivar. Gabby votes for Danielle. Brittany is the final and deciding vote, and we don't see what happens. Now, Danielle has been low key spoiling every episode on Twitter. So she put up a tweet that said, enjoy the weekend, don't worry about the round table, or something like that. So I don't know what would happen. So I am more inclined to believe that Brittany is going to vote for Ivar once again. So I don't know if they're going to do another vote or what's going to happen after that. But next week is the finale and the reunion. So let me know what you guys thought about this. Who do you think? Put in the chat who you think Brittany voted for. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.